Hey boaters, Keith McGowan here. I am the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Today we're going to continue on with the two-stroke part of our two-stroke versus four-stroke rebuild. Is it worth it? Please give me your opinions, send me comments. Have you rebuilt a four-stroke? Have you rebuilt a two-stroke? What is your experience and which one is worth it, or are neither? Let me know what your experiences are. And also the big question, what is the longevity after that rebuild? Right? So if I have a four-cylinder motor and I invest $5,000 on a rebuild and it's a 30-year-old motor, wait a minute, why would I do that? Well, how long is it going to run after that? So 15 years ago I was rebuilding these motors. Of course, they weren't 30 years old then, they were 15 years old then, and they're still running today. Are we going to get that longevity out of a four-stroke? So we have the 2006 four-stroke. If I do a full rebuild on it, what's the cost of that? Is it going to be more? Is it going to be definitely more time that I'm going to put into it because there's so many more components on that four-stroke? Or is that motor even going to be worth rebuilding? We won't know until we tear it down. So what's your opinion? And then what am I going to get longevity out of that four-stroke as opposed to these older two-strokes? So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have and let me know your opinion, and we'll continue going through this process together. So we'll see. Don't forget, my used outboard motor buying guide is for sale on Amazon right now for $20. Keep in mind, it is not an in-depth guide. It doesn't get into deep rebuilds and different models. It's the basics you need when you're going out to purchase a used motor or a boat with a used outboard on it. Gives you a quick little tool list that you can grab this with your little tools and do the major tests that can save you thousands on buying the wrong motor or a motor with a problem that's going to cost you a lot in the long run. Limited time now. It's getting more and more limited with more time, with less and less time I have to answer calls and work with people. I'm still offering that free half-hour session over the phone. If you not only give me proof of purchase to keith@outboarddad.com, but also give me a positive review from the book as well, and I'll give you that half an hour. A lot of those buddies out there have gotten a whole lot more than a half an hour. We've been back and forth. But listen, I'm here to help dispel that myth that the two best days are the day you bought it and the day you sold it. So let's get into this two-stroke a little further and see what we find. So if you remember, we took all the electronics off. I don't know, was it 15 minutes? Not a big deal. Now we're going to pull the carbs off. Not even going to clean them. I'll pull the bowls off just to take a look, but I'm not going to go crazy cleaning them yet because we need to still test that other motor to make sure it's going to work. So let's disconnect our hoses first. Let's take it off of here because it's going to be tricky to get off until we get the carburetor off. Okay, so that's our VRO pump. Other than being dirty, not too big of a deal. We have all the bolts here, so we'll just put that right in here. And our part's bin, and let's zip these Allen bolts off. See a little better from this angle with what I'm doing, instead of you guys looking at my Outboard Dad back. So these have not been off because it's a little tight. Well, it's possible this guy bought the boat and maybe it sat for a year or two and maybe the carburetors were gummed up and he leaned out a couple of cylinders because of that fact. So just for the heck of it, I'll pop these bowls off of here and we'll just see what it looks like inside. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't smell bad. Very interesting. We will definitely clean them out if we're going to use them. Sometimes these bowls get cracked. I don't see any cracks or anything. This one, I think this is the bottom one, so sometimes the bottom one is the one that collects more crap. Let's see if that theory holds true. Not too bad. Amazing. Pretty clean. Okay. So at the very least, we have some carburetors we could sell and some electronic components, spark makers, voltage creators. Go ahead and put that aside. Take a quick look at our reeds in here. We can't see too much, but definitely don't see that any are broken. So at this point, I'm just going to put this aside and we'll get that other block over here. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I started thinking 2 hours into this, checked out the other block. Doesn't look too great. Just because it has good compression doesn't mean I'm willing to do all this work and then sell it to someone. Even though there's no guarantees on used motors, I just don't see it happening. So I think this one is another parts motor. And that's typically why I don't pay for trade-ins. You know, if someone needs some help mounting, you can see the videos, I'll help them mount the motors. But something that's being traded in, it's very difficult for me to go that route, especially when it's got bad compression. So let me show you what happened. So I was going to put that block on here, and I said, oh, you know what? The new block has studs in it, so I have to get these knocked out. This one knocked right out. That one did not, and ended up breaking out the side of it. So I said, I could probably drill that. How long is that going to take me? Another 20 minutes, half an hour? And then I started to rig this block and started to look closely at it. Check it out. So just looking at this block, it looks a little rough. I don't like the way it looks. The old block I'd rather rebuild than this one. Even though it has good compression, I don't know. It's just a little too ragged. Bolts are pretty rusted on the bottom there. I don't think this one's going to be worth doing that too. We'll save this as a parts block in case we need a crank or something like that for another rebuild. So let me know your thoughts. I'm putting the brakes on right here. I did sell the lower unit to a gentleman. That was in a previous video, guys that came from New Hampshire. I'll probably just take the power tilt and trim off of that, put that up for sale as well. It's not the fast track style, it's the older one, so I'll have 2 of those for sale now. It does have a newer motor on it, and I know it functions because we had it functioning when we removed the motor. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Let me know where you think. Now we're ready to jump right into this 4-stroke. So that'll be in the next episode. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments you have. Looks like the 2-stroke lost this battle, but there's other 2-strokes. I have 3 other 2-stroke motors here with bad cylinders that we're going to look at. And there's still an opportunity for other motors, just this one didn't work out. Now, it didn't work out for me. That doesn't mean that someone who's got the time will go ahead and drill those bolts out, maybe do a rebuild, or maybe clean up this block and paint it, maybe to look better or feel better if they paint it, and they'll do that. So please like, subscribe, let me know what comments you have. And that 2-stroke versus 4-stroke rebuild is going to continue because this one hasn't won yet because we haven't torn it down, we haven't done any tests. So that'll be next. Stay tuned. Have a great day.